slept. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief, shadow of past actions, I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, well it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles, fuck that now, let me get this castle, fuck that now, let me get this battle.
Alright, what's goody, y'all? What's goody, fam? It's your boy Tsmoov and Crocos Corner with another one. It's been a minute. As you know, we reviewed the first 7 chapters of this new Shonen Jump comic, The Marshal King. First 7 chapters, we already explained that it was like an OVA where it can set up something crazy. And now we're back with chapters 8 and 10. Quick review of that banana nonsense that occurred. We meet a new character that's coming with some heat. Our boy Tsmoov's about to be tested for real. So battle tested. Right now, we thought we was gonna have chapter 11, but come to find out they took like a 2-week hiatus from chapter 9 to 10, which they left 10 on a small cliffhanger, getting us ready for the heat that developed in chapter 10. But oh my goodness, you got anything before we dig into this, Crocos?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people. I kind of, since the last time that we did a recording, I just kind of wanted to see what the chatter was like around this series. And I see some people that's kind of like got some frustrations around some areas. But the only thing I say to anybody who has already like read some of the chapters that's come out and is trying to kind of give like an early opinion, I would just kind of like hold off a little bit on any criticism because it's brand new. This is a brand new series that like we just got. The person who did it was the same or the person who is made this manga is the same person who did Dr. Stone. I
Mm-hmm.
also found that out in this time. Boichi, the mangaka Boichi, is the one who's doing Marshal King, and it's like you've seen Boichi kind of have a fleshed out story, or at least if he did the animation on it, having being able to be a part of a series where it's like genuinely taking his time and like giving a lot of different details and whatnot. So, just kind of give him a chance. Just kind of see like, all right, it just started. We already 10 chapters in. A lot of people said it was moving fast. I don't think it's moving too fast for 10 chapters. So, I don't know. You one of those people out there though that's just starting to kind of have some more negative sentiments around it. Maybe just let some of the chapters build for a little bit. Come back to it and see how you feel. But if you like us and you enjoy it, that's where we're gonna kind of dive in and give you our opinions on these most recent chapters. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, indeed. So, as y'all know, with the homie Tsmoov,
Yeah, where do we leave off? T?
this man just took out a whole bunch of outlaws. As you can see, my man got the King Magnum,
Mm-hmm.
no Trojan. The King Magnum, no Trojan. It like he's obtained it. What's the word I'm looking for? He didn't steal it, but he earned it.
Yeah,
It allowed him to wield it. And we know that now, if he utilizes his gun, it takes off a year of his life for each shot, and he shot it 6 times, so he's lost 6 years of his life, which he didn't really pay attention in class. So that was the issue.
yeah.
So we moving forward. We see that the faculty are meeting. They're getting ready to talk about how Tsmoov like pretty much he shouldn't have a gun. He needs to give it back. All this other good stuff. But Jim Woo was standing on business, 10 toes down, steps in the room, got the arms that his daddy had that they had down below and underneath the school, and the gun on him, ready to go, looking like this man about to like Jean Claude Van Damme kick somebody in their face, styling on him, aura building Jin Woo style. Jin Woo
Yeah,
sitting
when
on
they
the
get
desk with homegirl.
animated,
Yo, son, this is gonna be
it's
heat when it
like
gets animated.
what?
But we ain't seen it for another 15 years.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man. And then they're letting him know you need to relinquish the Magnum, which he's not going to do that. Like he already said at the end of the day,
He
I
already
don't.
obtained it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need this school. The main thing is just give me my badge to be a marshal, and like I said, for my goal is to stop all the outlaws and make this just a straight up martial type world. And they literally going back and forth with him, and he's like, "Nah, man, I ain't doing that. Like, I really don't need this school. Just give me the badge. I'm straight."
Well, yeah, and their whole thing was like, you know, you there's more than just being strong, right? Like there's more
Mm-hmm.
that goes towards being a marshal. I was glad they brought that point up
Yep.
because I imagine that's going to be somewhat of a, that's going to be what we learn along with Jimmu, right? Is
Yep.
exactly what does it mean to be a marshal. And for him, coming from an outlaw's background, the way that he probably saw it, which I'm sure they'll dive more into as the story goes on,
Yep.
the way that he probably saw it was just you exert power, you exert authority, right? Like that's what a
Mm-hmm.
marshal would be over outlaws. Is somebody who comes in and says, "Hey, I'm the law, I maintain law, and you're obstructing it, so you got to be handled." But you know, just seeing how they even have a school in this universe and in this world, we know that there obviously should be more that actually is entailed for what
Mm-hmm.
it means to be a marshal. Um, but like you said, right now at this current point, Jimmu is kind of like, well, I got the strength. I did something none of y'all were willing to do by pulling the Magnum, and I'm that boy. I'm just about to go do my thing,
And
and yeah.
like the cool
Hmm.
thing about it is, even in this panel, when he goes, knowing that, who do you think should be learning from who? When he said, "I have the power," I know what I'm trying to do. I'm out here trying to save my friends and the people that I know and love and those in the community and whatnot. Like, why do I even need this class? Who am I going to learn
Yeah.
from? Who? And you can see the look on everybody's face, like they surprised as heck. So he's like, "Yo, I will fight every last one of y'all. Like, yo, I will shut all of y'all up and show y'all who is the baddest marshal out here."
Which I mean, given what he just got done doing, he was the one who quelled the threat that was targeting the school. This was somebody who was his father's friend, and his father. Well, I know it's not his father. We still got to learn more about that
Yep.
relationship because he said it's not his father, but everybody knows him to be, um, you know, the Godspeed son. Father Godspeed son. I'm just calling him that for now. So my thing though is like this is like one thing that kind of can get lost in that was this was supposed to be a buddy to his dad, and his dad was supposed to be that boy. So this threat that's approaching, you didn't really see like any teachers or anybody else that really stepped up. It was just Jimmu who stepped up. So it's kind of like when you going into this chapter and you seeing them having like their grievances and complaints. What it kind of felt like to me was that they like how people aren't necessarily good at their job, but they'll be in a role
Yep.
like you'll see it at times in like management or like CEOs or different people like that, where it's just kind of like, wow, you could tell that like either a parent passed this down or this person was
Mm-hmm.
granted this position because they don't really they nepotism or whatever the case may be, like they're not really good at it, they just kind of in that role. It
Yep.
was kind of giving me that vibe, like they teachers, yes, but they don't seem like they that strong.
Mm-hmm.
Just because if they were, I feel like before Jimmu even did what he did, that he would have calmed the whole they would have stepped in and stopped that whole situation. But the reality is, it seemed like somebody who could be a friend to Outlaw Godspeed, Father
Yep.
Godspeed,
Yep.
if somebody is even capable of being a friend. We don't know how powerful that friend is or anything like that, but if they're capable of that, the school really doesn't have that many immediate defenses around that. Now there's more story to tell. We'll get to that part when we get there, but in terms of the teachers, the immediate teachers that are just educating the marshals, didn't seem like they were that capable. Maybe just not very strong, but very educational, very
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable. That's the kind. Maybe that's maybe a better vibe than even just saying like the nepotism failed. Maybe they just aren't strong, but they're really good educators in the
Right.
martial realm.
Now, one character that I've proclaimed as the Oracle or Batgirl or Batman, you could per se, is this
Mhm.
little girl right here. Her.
Yeah,
She's a problem. She is a problem
got the
because
best eyes.
we get to the point where this man is about to get battle tested. When Jinmu said, "Challenge me and I will give this back to you," she stated to them, "If you all challenge him at once, you would never
Mhm.
defeat Jinmu. You would never defeat it." It's like she already knows how to beat him before he even knows how to get beaten.
Just from observing them.
But
And I got a theory with her I will bring up. Is this at the end of the chapter? Okay, yeah.
this is
So
at the end of
talk
chapter
about this
8.
part, T.
So we get left on a small, like we get close to being left off on a cliffhanger from chapter 8 going into 9. We meet this woman named Fair Lady. She is the principal of the school. They don't really say much. She just pops up on scene, and she got the best aura. Like,
Yeah, honestly, even over Jimu, I'm not even gonna lie to you. The way she came in, I was like, okay, I know
mm-hmm,
what type of time she on, and she don't look like a typical shown. Like maybe, yeah, you could say maybe something like Dr. Stone, obviously, because this is by the illustrator of Dr. Stone. Maybe something like Dr. Stone, but outside of Dr. Stone, maybe like World Trigger, I would throw in that mix
mm-hmm.
a little bit. It's not that many. It's not that many anime that kind of make female characters look like this. They usually kind of go for a more, at least in base design, especially. They usually kind of have a more feminine and promiscuously kind of look
Like
to him.
draw,
But
yeah.
with this, it's like you said, it's just all aura. It's just she looked like a beast, right?
Hold up though,
Like
but why she look like Luffy here?
yeah,
Why she look like Luffy?
yeah, like she
Come
just
on,
kind of like a
son.
quirky. She looked like the type of character that's like kind of silly, but also a boss. Like Luffy is a great
Yes,
example of that. Like she gives off that energy, and then she's coming in, and the way that she comes in, it's just kind of like boss energy.
like
It's just
straight up
all
swagged out.
yeah. She just came in with the right energy, and
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 my
it
thing is
yeah.
this with the like chapter 8, that build up, like it wasn't really much to go off, to be honest, but you
Hmm.
know it's about to get something serious. Like when
Yeah, when you
you
get that
see,
ending, you just know, okay, well, what is this gonna be?
yeah,
Like, it's like, what is this gonna be? And I mean, we end with that shocked look by Jimu as like, okay, who is this? But yeah, it's just kind of like it gives a full on like, all right, some at least we know. I don't know what's gonna be the fallout of this, but I could tell this character is confident,
mm-hmm,
right? And they not messing around. And then you find out that this is the principal at that, and it's kind of like everybody else that you've seen hasn't really. Not only have they not like in terms of illustration had a very noticeable like just appearance,
yep,
but they also haven't had a very noticeable role at all at this point.
mm-hmm.
And this is the first person who not only has a noticeable appearance, but also kind of has the a noticeable energy and just the confidence that they have the moment that you meet them.
I,
So yeah, we know at the end of this one, okay, something is gonna be
I'm gonna be real. They better make her. They better make her black. I'm not gonna lie. You can see some features there with the hair and everything. Like you know that joint gonna be like bouncy and curly.
it's
Come
possible, but when they
on,
do black and white like this,
it's hard to tell.
it's usually like some type of like grayish shade.
Mm-hmm.
When the character is gonna have like even just a high 10, because we know it's not like really that many characters that's like full on black in anime.
Yeah.
But even when they just like oh, as an example of just what I mean by the tan, if you go back and look at like some of the earlier depictions of Robin,
Mm-hmm.
it like there was that tan on it. And then when you
Right.
got the animated series, that tan like that gray shading, even if it was a light gray shading, that slight shading that they use, you saw it translate to the early depictions of the One Piece anime. Whereas with Fair Lady, I'm as much as I do agree with you, I completely see it. I mean, we literally looking at the screen right now, and it's a clear indication of where you kind of like, that's a blackish feature. Um, you, it's hard to say because they didn't really do any shading for
No,
Fair
they
Lady.
didn't. They didn't. And I can see that, but it just would be so dope if they
I think it
did.
would match. It would be cool with the hair, with
Yes.
that like that kind of like curly, that coil curl
Mm-hmm.
kind of like hair that she has. I agree. It would be really cool to see that. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see when they get to that point.
So with chapter 9, we're here. Fair Lady jumps in and she's like, "Yo, I heard there was a student here that was very interesting, and I needed to come through and see what this was about."
Yeah.
And it goes through like they're going back and forth. Pretty much, she's introducing herself, and Fair Lady asks, "Was her Agira?
Yes, Agira
Agira?
is
Yes, Agira.
the observe Batman. Agira is Batman.
Yeah." She asks Agira, "Is Jinmu stronger than me?" And she pretty much admitted. She said, yeah, he is stronger, and there is a way to beat him, and I'm gonna let y'all know what it is." And they asked Jinmu to leave because it's like as if they're getting ready to put him to a trial by fire. And they go through, they develop a contest just for him alone. They come back, they talk about it, and pretty much, without really hearing much about it, he said, "I accept your challenge," because Jinmu is that dude. He don't care whatever challenge is in his
Yeah.
way. He's going to go ahead and do it.
In his eyes, he the strongest. And we have been yet to be shown that he is anything but that.
Yep.
At this current moment, he looks like the strongest. And he feels the exact same way.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much the name of the game is pretty much grab the flag from what, 4 different points that they said that like 4 different people he got to fight. And
Yeah, he's gonna have things in his way.
the deal is he cannot use his guns, none
Mm-mm.
at all. It has to be hand to hand combat for all the fights that he has to do. Because apparently Agira has stated that that is the way to beat Jinmu, is to force him to not use his guns, go straight hand to hand combat. So they get to the training grounds, and that's the deal. And the first person he has to fight is Fair Lady. You would think her being boss, like the principal, she'd be
The
on
boss,
some
right.
like final boss level, but she's like,
Right.
nah.
I'm first.
I want to see what you can do. I'm interested. I want to see what you can do. Let's break this down. So they get ready to fight, and this man said, "Let's do this," and she's just like dodging everything this man does, and he's like, "Yo, what is going on? Like, guns not allowed and all this other good stuff." But yet he's still up for the challenge. He does not care. So he's
Yeah,
like,
because if he the strongest, because I mean, you got to think about it. If your bark is I'm the strongest, right?
mm-hmm,
Your bite can't just be behind you having weapons. You got to be able to like back that up
yep,
with just pure like hand to hand combat. And I think they even said in one of the panels, like there may be there may be moments where you're presented without your weapons. And
mm-hmm.
on top of that, we know the one weapon that he has, it takes years off his life, so he can't use that regularly.
Which was
He has
smart for them
to.
to force him not to use it because they actually care. They don't want him to shave off years of his life.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's no telling what damage he would do too. So you can't. It's like no, you can't use that here. That's no. We're not gonna let you just do that.
Oh yeah.
Destroy the school. Like fam, come on now. And again, he's still got it. They didn't take his arms away. It's another
Mm-hmm.
point to note is that he has the first. It's the arms are also the like previous Marshal Kings, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so they still let him have one of his OP weapons. So it's not like they just saying like, "Oh, we want, you can beat us under all you can beat us no matter what, so we need the handicaps." Because if they had said that, they would have probably said, "No, you can't use these arms either."
Well, that's the problem.
But
Jinmu can't use his hand still. Remember, he damaged his hand earlier on in the first 7 chapters.
that's right.
So I don't know
That's
if his
right.
hand fully healed at this point because it hasn't been that long since the outlaws tried to destroy the school to try and take the gun.
Yeah, but even at that, they still feel confident enough that they can beat him,
Yep.
even if he's got his arms, which to me says a lot because it's not like those arms is a pushover.
Mm-hmm. So we can see like as they're fighting, she like reveals her true weapon, which is her body. Her body is made out of full weapons or full
Yeah.
armor. The only piece
It's like Iron Man
Yep.
if Tony Stark
didn't have
turned
a
into
body no
Iron
more.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah, like if he just legit everything that you see with that suit, if it came out of his body as opposed to like out of that briefcase, that's essentially what she is. And I was like, oh, she's terrifying now.
But my thing is this: take a look though. You can't tell me she ain't black though. You can't tell me this woman ain't black though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That,
She got
like-
the '90s bob.
Yes.
Then before that, she got the coil curls.
Bruh,
Yeah, bro, it'd be a major
oh my
disservice if they
goodness.
don't, but they probably won't. But I agree with you. Like looking at the Bob now again, I'm like, that's the auntie. Everybody got like a Auntie
Mhm.
Nita, or like that's Cora May.
Gourmet.
You know what I'm saying? That's everybody
wait.
know that's a
Octavia
Shanice.
Spencer. Octavia Spencer with the bob.
Yeah, bro. That's come on. That's she goes
And-
to church.
But here's the thing though, you can
might
even
not-
tell
you
by
might
like
not
when she said,
believe
"Now
it.
bring it on, baby." Like that sounds like something a black auntie would
with that
say.
twang. Exactly, because we already know it's Western twang.
Yeah.
But then you gonna add in like come on, that's the Southern aunt right there. That's auntie. That's auntie
auntie,
lady
man.
right there. That's auntie fair.
And it's crazy. Like they start to turn up. You got Agera still watching everything from the school, and you
Yeah,
can
she
tell
wanted
like
the best
things
seat.
about to
I
get
got a theory
real.
that I gotta ask too. I'm gonna wait till we done. But there's a couple questions that I got for you too at the end of this. So chapter 9 just kind of starts. It starts with them beginning this challenge, and chapter 9 ends with Principal Fair Lady kind of showing the full totality of her strength.
That she that girl. She that girl. Don't mess
Yeah,
with me.
like basically showing like she's revealing her stronger assets, her stronger cards at this point, in her attempts to be the first one to kind of stop Gemma.
But I'm not gonna lie. The start of chapter 10 kind of had me thrown for a loop. Because why it gotta be the Clark Company 6,000 sucks?
They say, okay,
why?
hold on.
Why?
Go into that more. What do you mean?
My childlike behavior has made me laugh at that.
Why, is it because it's like Capsule Corp?
No, because it sucks. Like,
Well-
6,000 sucks. Like, why it gotta be 6,000 sucks on a woman's body? You know
Let
what?
me
I'm
see. Maybe I
reaching.
missed it.
I'm reaching.
Wait, what's wrong with the 6,000? I thought it was kind of like, like how they make devices and it'd just kind of be like the
But it's
3,000.
it's
Like
on
the.
But they could have just left it at Clark 6,000. They didn't have to put sucks.
Why did they put sucks on it?
I don't.
Did they
know.
say why they did that?
I was looking through to see if there was some type of
It
abbreviation
says
for
sucks,
anything.
like the word
Like
sucks.
plug. It says plus. That's the flagship 6,000 sucks model. Like
That's crazy. Okay, now I get what you're saying, and
Yes.
I totally missed that.
uh-huh.
That isn't why. Yeah, why is that?
I don't know, but we gonna get past that. Well, she's explaining that she has this high-end coating on her body, and her whole body is literally pretty much machine. That's why you saw at the end of chapter 9, she switched her head into battle mode, so she's ready to
Right.
go against Jinmu. And it's about to get real. They're getting ready to go hand to hand. As you can see, she has that samurai gun, but she can't use it. because
Right.
that's the rules.
No
No
weapon.
guns.
Right.
And they going back and forth. It's heated. Nothing but punches. Jimmu went for the first strike, but it's like a head-to-head battle. We straight hands, back and forth, back and forth. You can see Jimmu is actually taking damage. And it's crazy.
She's keeping up with his speed, which is another point to note.
Yep,
Because
but she's
so
getting
far we
faster.
haven't seen anybody be able to. And like you, yes, to your
She's getting
point,
faster.
she's as it goes.
He even has to charge his fist up even faster to try and keep up with her for
Right.
her speed. And that fancy body of yours ain't too shabby either. Like she's letting, like, it's like they're giving each other like putting each other on notice. Like, I see the enhancements that are being done to you and why they named you Fair Lady or Massacre Lady to make her the principal of the Marshals, and they going back and forth, back and forth. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little aura right here for Shorty right here. Like she like
I think
swagged
for
out.
both of them, I want to say this angle where they kind of show like all of the damage that's been done. I feel like it was aura for Jimmu and also Fair Lady. It's kind of like both of them. It's like, all right, y'all look kind of swaggy here. I'd love to see how that actually look when it's animated or if it's animated. I kind of want to see what that, like, how they present them, you know, and when they kind of like break apart. Because that's like that Dragon Ball Z thing where it's like you had them kind of duking it out for a second, then they both break apart, then it's just kind of like aura.
So here's the crazy thing about, I like this panel because, for one, yes, you see the damage, but she states that pretty much before this that he lacks technique with these arms that he just obtained just recently, and he literally stops and says, "These golden arms, no, my arms." Like, he's taking claim to this. This is mine.
Yeah.
I may lack technique, but they are driven by strong will. This man willpower is through the roof. Like, he's at Super Saiyan 1 at this point. When he says something like that, it's about to get crazy.
He'd be a
aura
mean
building.
Green Lantern.
Or aura building. Why he got a
He'd
six
be
pack?
a mean Green Lantern.
Why he's swagging out like this though? But he's letting her know, like, my objective will remain the same no matter what you say. I'll become a marshal and bring an end to this era of desperados. That is my dream. He's letting her know, like, even though we're fighting, at the end of the day, nothing's going to change. I'ma still complete my goal. Just pretty much like Naruto. That's my Nindo. That's my ninja way. I will become Hokage one day.
That's the exact same way he is, right? When it comes to being the Marshal King and being able to enact what he thinks is justice to outlaws, and for to kind of, it's not just that he wants to punish, and it's something I feel like we can't forget. It's not just that he wants to, like, punish outlaws because that's justice. He wants to create a world where people are genuinely safe.
Yeah.
You know, like, when he expresses that full thought out of what his objective is he wants people to feel protected and be protected, as well as, you know, maybe kick some outlaw butt.
And the cool thing about it is, with Fair Lady, it's like her and Nagara already had this talk. You're every bit of man that Agara told me you were.
Yeah. Because she knows it's noble.
Yes.
You know, she knows, like, all right, yo, this dude really, not only does he have a strong will, but he also has a strong goal. And that's probably what you want to see out of a Marshal. You know what I mean? That's just, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I hear you. And they get back to it with the hands. It's just going back and forth. And relying on your power and speed is far too amateur. I can dodge or strike without even looking at them. Letting him know I'm still that one.
Doc Martens, bro.
Doc Martin, bruh.
She got the docs on, just like, all right, yeah, no, I'm not that lady.
She's fair about it. She's classy. She's very demure, very mindful as she whoops on this man. And you can see, like, this man's, like, reaching his boiling point, but he's still going to just let her have it. Like, yo, all I need is one shot. All I need is one shot. And you can see in his shot, he takes her arm off. And in that fight, she says, he saw through my fastest attack. And he let her know, this is my will. And it's like in that moment, you know this fight has came to a loss. She need to stew out this man, son. And at this point, you're thinking Fair Lady has won. You're thinking that. Everybody's like, nah, Tsmoov lost his first bout. That's crazy. Yeah.
Her name ain't no joke. It's the reason why she got that name.
She stated, if I taken a direct hit, I be dead. You're really something. But then she goes forward and says, no, I'm the one who lost because he knew what he was doing. If he would attack my torso, which is the last bit of life I have in my body, I would have been gone. He did it on purpose so that I wouldn't die. He's that type of person. Mm-hmm. He's very noble. And she even stated, I lost this one. I am not old and feeble enough to claim an undeserved victory. She's not that type of person. She knows she lost this in the most noble way. He did not try to kill her. He just tried to subdue her. Even though like he tries to like hold it down, saying I didn't miss on purpose.
He's gonna deny it. But what's cool is that he was able to kind of like prove to her, look, what I'm saying I actually do mean, you know, in the dance of combat. You know, sometimes like if you see boxers, a lot of, especially like old school boxers, they'll say like they're like, when it comes to two boxers boxing, there's no better way for us to communicate like
with the hands,
our everything outside of just what we do in the ring. Like that's the best place for us to communicate. We have to be in the dance and the heat of boxing, and that's where we're able to say everything that we may have wanted to say before. And it's kind of like that's what happened with her, and what I would assume would be whoever he faces next if it's another teacher. We gotta talk about that too. But I assume that's what you know, she was able to get from that. She was able to not only see how strong he was, but what type of man he was. Just straight up. Like, take the Marshal, take all of that away. What type of man are you? You saying all of this stuff, and you getting ready to walk out here with a walking nuke as a weapon. What type of man are you? And I think she was able to get that answer, and how he at the very end, he had mercy, even with that last shot.
And at the sense of it, he knew that she was like a very noble person. He did not want to kill her. Yeah, he actually liked having her. Yeah, she had respect for him. That's all it was.
Yeah, is they both were able to kind of increase in their respect for each other after that. And because of his, you know, something along with him is he says willpower, but I think it's a little bit further than willpower with Tsmoov. It's also pride. His father was like that boy. He was the outlaw. Even if it wasn't his father, again, we still got to kind of learn more about that whole relationship.
Yep.
But, you know, it seems like whatever he has come from, there's always been like a level, a stature of just strong. You're strong.
Right.
You're that boy. So, like, no matter what, whether it's the person training you, whatever, he's always kind of had that role model where it's kind of like, you're that boy. So the fact that he is doing that like the fact that he's taken that and kept that identity that I imagine Father Godspeed, Outlaw Godspeed had, the fact that he's doing that, but like for the Marshals, but still keeping his pride. You know, it's again, he might want to use the word willpower, but it definitely so far has been rearing itself as it being more that he has a lot of pride in where he's come from. Right. And he has a lot of pride in his strength.
Man,
I had a couple of questions for you too.
Go ahead.
First question. I'll start with the one that is the closest to that ending. If the principal was first, and the teachers don't look like much, are we either wrong about the teachers, and the teachers is nice?
I'm gonna be
or
real.
Is it a new character?
It's probably a teacher that was out in the plains just like Fair Lady.
Okay.
I don't think it's like one of your regular teachers that's been there that was in that same room as Tsmoov, because remember
Right.
she stated that any of y'all that's in that room, the faculty, you're not beating Tsmoov. You're not.
Mm.
So I think it's gonna be another head, like maybe the principal, the vice principal or something that's on that level that's
Yeah.
gonna fight him next. It's gonna be someone OD. It has to
Right.
be, because you
It
cannot put
has
him against a regular teacher. You cannot.
Yeah, it can't be anybody less. Like I imagine, yeah, he got knocked out, but they give him a second to get his bearings back, and once
Mm-hmm.
he just get his bearings back, he right back to what he was just on with the principal. So exactly, it's exactly to your point. It's like it can't be anybody that's not as either just as capable as the
Mm-hmm.
principal or
Mm-hmm.
more capable than the principal. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going. That's why, like you said, she presented herself as being more like a final boss, so to have her going first is very confusing,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to see where it goes. I agree with you too. I do think it'll be a new character. The second question that I have for you is Agara or Agiru, whatever her name is, Western Batman, Batwoman, Western Batwoman Agiru. She has been okay. If Jimu has shown that he is like a pinnacle of power even
Mm-hmm.
amongst the students,
Mm-hmm.
she is showing supreme intelligence amongst everyone here.
Yep.
She even outsmarted the teachers, and Fair Lady had to get her opinion and trusted her opinion and her analysis
I think she has
on Jimmy.
always trusted her opinion, because remember, Agara said she's been at that school for a minute now, and
Okay,
she
yeah,
she probably already knows Fair Lady on a personal level to be able to be like, hey, my
okay, that's
eyes,
true.
because remember she said her eyes don't lie.
Hmm.
What
And
she's
I'm glad that you just said that because
she's
that's what
Deku.
brings up my question.
She's literally
See, and
Deku.
that now here's my thing though.
Mm-hmm.
We already seen with of the like major characters that we've met, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only been about four of them. Fair Lady, Agiru, the student that he got the crush on, Black.
I don't think he has a
What
crush
was
on
his
her.
name?
I don't think he has a crush on
But you
her.
know who I'm talking. I think he's
Yeah,
talking about
I know
me.
who you're
I
talking
think he
about, but I
might.
don't think he has a crush on her. I think it's more
But
of it's a mutual respect, just like
okay, okay,
Goku
we
and
could go
Chi
for
Chi.
that. I
Like
thought I
Chi
saw
Chi.
him blushing. I
Nah,
thought I saw him blushing.
he was blushing because she got in his face. He's not used to that. Remember
Okay.
during the scene where they had to test the gun ability and everything.
Hmm. So
It,
it don't necessarily. It's kind. It could kind of be like I don't know if you've ever seen Windbreakers, but it's
yes,
kind of like the main
yes,
character in Windbreakers.
yes. He's not used to
Sakura.
it.
He
Yes.
just not used to it, so
Yep.
it make him awkward. Yeah. Okay. 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 I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, three or two so far, two out of the four main characters that we met have had these body modifications. It seems like body modifications, technological body modifications, is kind of where power is increased. I don't want to necessarily say it's like chakra
I feel like it's
because
gonna be
it's just too
somebody that
early
doesn't
to
have it that's
say.
gonna be on that level though. He's gonna go up against somebody that doesn't have no body
But
modifications.
do you think that her Agiru or Agira's eyes may be a modification?
Good chance of it. I can see that.
Cause I'm just sitting here like, yo, she is observing a lot. And
But
then
the
she was
problem
like,
is
I need a
though,
special seat for this
it's
fight.
hard to see because she was sitting in that super telescope though.
Right.
So I
And
don't
that
know.
might be her
Maybe it might
modification
be.
is that telescope.
Honestly, I think it might be more of a brain modification for her to be able to
Mm,
observe
to
somebody and their
process that.
abilities to be able to process all that. I don't think it's an ability with like she can see everything, but I think it's like something maybe a body modification in her brain, or she was born with some special ability to be able to do this. She literally has she can have every contingency plan under the sun. I've come to that
Yo,
conclusion. She says,
she
I
like
know how to
she all
beat
she
this
need to do is
person.
to see it once. All she needs
Yes.
to do is observe. something once, and she's like, "Yep, I got it." I don't even understand why she's at the school, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like if you said Batman got to stay on like Teen Titans, you
Yep.
would just be like, "Nah, bruh,
Mm-hmm.
you can be everyone. You need to be out doing your own
Yep.
thing." That's what it's
Yep.
like. What she's given the vibe of. That's why I'm like, something is there with her though,
Mm-hmm.
because what she really, it just does not seem like she need to be a student.
We're not
Maybe
gonna.
she isn't a fighter, but she easily seemed like she could be out in the
I'm gonna tell
field
you now. We're
assisting
not gonna
somebody.
see anything new with Agera until maybe 30, 40 chapters in. It's gonna come to a certain point where we will see something, but it won't be now. It won't
Yeah,
be anytime soon.
little bit of time. Yeah, because you figure these next couple fights, I would imagine, are gonna be like minimally. It's gonna take us to chapter 22,
Yep.
minimally.
Yep.
So maximally, it could very well be like 10 more chapters on that. Because I don't. Here's the thing: like you could have 4 or 5 chapters, depending on if this is level one. How many more does Jimu have before he reaches the flag? 3.
Three more. Yeah. So
I
it was
feel
about
like
maybe it was two a
two
chapter and a
chapters
half.
for
Two
chapter and a half
chapter.
for principal.
Yeah.
The
So
next person I feel like a B, maybe 2 chapters.
yeah.
Then then that's two. It's 4 people total including principal, or it's 3 people total including principal.
3 people total, including no 4
Prin-
total with
Four.
principal. So she just
So
had
okay,
one. So it's three fights left.
3 left. So I think the second person is going to be like maybe the same length as the principal. Then I feel like the next person is going to be like maybe in it. You know what? Here's another plot twist. It might not be a person. It might be like a machine. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case, a machine of some sort.
But it
But
can't be a
whatever.
machine though, because it has to be someone on the faculty. That was the deal.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
So it
Thank you.
couldn't,
Thank you.
unless
Thank
it's
you.
somebody in like a mech suit. I can understand that on some
Right, but they
Gundam
still
level.
would have to be like a person to some
Yeah.
extent. They got to be some type of a person. So okay. With that said, first I'll continue my thought. The second person I think will be about the same length as the fight against um Fair Lady.
Lady. Mm-hmm.
I think the person after that will probably just be 2 solid chapters,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2.5, but definitely 2. But then the last person, which I feel like that's where Jimmo is ultimately gonna lose. Like he's gonna lose too. It's not gonna be like no technicality or anything like that. He's just gonna straight up lose. Is whoever that last person is. And Jimmo is gonna kind of be like, all right, I want to make this teacher my rival. Like that's the way he gonna feel, but then he still had to learn more. Because I mean,
It's
do
gonna
you
be the
think he
last one
just
though.
beat everybody?
It's
Yeah, it'll be the
it's
last
yeah.
one.
It's
And
gonna
I
be the
think that
last one.
last one, I think that last one will probably be double the
So
previous chapters.
it's
So
gonna
it'll
be
be like
like
four
this. You know how
chapters.
he defeated Fair Lady?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be in that form or fashion, but it's not gonna be as if he he purposely tried to kill her and he didn't shoot. He's going to actually try and kill that last person,
The third
and it's
person,
going to
yeah.
get to
Or fourth
the
person.
fourth, yeah, and it's going to get to the point where Homeboy's going to straight up stop him, but he's going to be like, "I yield because I know you show me abilities that you deserve to get this Marshal thing,"
Do you
and
think
that's
that he going just? You
yeah.
think it's gonna be a solo journey? Like we
It's
going
not going to
away
be a
from the
solo
school at
journey.
this point?
No, he's going like it's going to be some stipulation where Homeboy's going to say, I feel like it's gonna go like this. He's gonna beat two. He's gonna beat the second one. He's gonna beat the third one. Fourth one's gonna be an all-out fight where it's gonna be sort of like when we were talking with boxing, where it's all about hands going back and forth, having a
Mm-hmm.
communication, and it's going to be somebody that his father has fought before, and someone that has
Do,
worked alongside the first Marshal King. That's why I
okay.
feel like it's gonna be on that level, and he's gonna be
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
"Huh, you beat my father, and like you beat my father, but I've killed him." So he's gonna be on some like I can beat you type
Yeah.
ish. So
It could, Jimu's right up Jimu's
yep,
league.
and it's gonna get to the point where they're gonna be toe to toe, toe to toe. But he's gonna be maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of Jinmu. But it's gonna get to the point where Homeboy respected Jinmu, but he's gonna tell you, "I yield, but you're gonna take these classes under me." where he's going to be the
Okay.
teacher of that class. So he's going to have that journey with everybody, not just by himself.
Okay. So but you do think ultimately you do think that he's gonna remain a student.
Yes.
I did see some people who were a little upset at that part. I'm not. I love honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you. Anytime that they do have student arcs, I personally tend to like them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate them. I know a lot of people hate
Oh
anytime it's
yeah,
like
definitely.
anything remotely where
Yes.
it's like a student or training arc. And so I'm excited for it, but I heard a lot of people that were like, "Well, I just want to see more of this world." I do think that even if you were to have him have a student arc,
Mm-hmm.
that you still will be able to see a lot of this world. It to me, and a lot of people are saying it seems like this series is going to be quick because they felt like the pacing is moving fast. If you take into context of him having a student arc and then going out into the world, this does not the pacing does not is not that fast. It doesn't seem like it's super sped up to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you take that into consideration, they may be trying to push through to the actual education side of it,
Yeah.
but if that is the case, that's something that seems like is more beneficial for people than less, especially if the majority don't like training arcs / student arcs. Then wouldn't you want them to move past that fast so that way you can see the vast world
Mm-hmm.
that exists? But okay, so we in the same page that it likely will be a student. He will have a student phase. It's not he gets past everybody here and then goes out into the wild wild west of the Marshal King world. It'll be something there to ground it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see, but I do believe so too. 8 through 10, great to me.
Yep.
Solid
Solid.
chapters.
Solid.
Loved it. I love how the technology is incorporated and used throughout this world. I mean, it's because it's one thing if you just kind of have like pew pews that's Western and it's just like pew pew. It's like, all right, that's
Mm-hmm.
cool, but you're not really necessarily touching
Doing
on like the
anything.
full on
Yeah.
shonen world.
Right.
You're not hitting like the sci-fi-ish level of shonen at that point to
Mm-hmm.
me. So introducing like the robotics and the mechanics, I'm not mad at it at all. I'm glad that I was actually able to see more of that and that we not just like that Jimu isn't the only person we're gonna see with some of these modifications in this world.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious how they actually use it because I do agree with you. I think that there will be people that don't have these modifications that are still strong. Think like Shanks and the One Piece world, he
Mm-hmm.
just has Haki while there's still many different people that have devil fruits. So I'm excited to see how exactly they let that unfold. But it was nice seeing that that was something that was attributed to the principal as well.
Right. Well, with that being said, everyone, thank you for coming through and
Yep.
watching our review of chapter 8 through 12. We will be coming back in
Yeah.
uh, June. We're trying to make this a monthly
Yeah.
thing, a consistent monthly thing, where we're following along this journey of Marshal King from start to finish. We might be here for the next 2-3 years, depending on how long this it takes, because it's weekly.
Yeah.
So 50 chapters a year. So
And we already got a break this early in, so it's like it's
yep,
no telling how many more that might happen.
yep. But once again, it's your boy Tsmoov, your boy Crocos. Check him out on
Yeah.
many of his platforms. You can come check me out on Tsmoov Entertainment. And we'll be here as we are weekly with our other bros, Sundays or Mondays if life be lifing, with the Squad Nero podcast. Thank you again. We'll check you guys out later. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, guys.
Little lit. Hang on. I want all the smoke. Yeah, running trash bags of that green. Whipping fast, the whip color of cocaine. I'm independent, they in this minute to stop these dreams. On the road to riches, focus on the ticket, maximize my means. It's like, nah, I'm just tryna flow. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can quote. They focus on the dollar, feel like I'm a migrant, just touch a new island. Every time I smoke, regardless, ain't no way I'ma miss my target when I got it locked up in my scope.
Watch out for the snakes in the
snakes